It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
History tonight. The first father-son duo to play together in an NBA game. This is all of the family. And what a celebration for the James family. Ronnie's brother and sister, his mom on hand, Savannah, Zuri, and Bryce sitting front row. Outside, Dad hands to his son, gets it back. Two-man game. James hits it, rebounded by Edwards.
Bronny with the missed jump. LeBron with the missed. Yeah, that highlight's not the greatest. I love Iron Eagle, but he kind of forgot to say which one it was. That was one of the lone highlights that today I was playing Fast Sound Crew. That was one of the highlights I could find was a pass. Bronny did have a chance at a tip-in on an 83 miss. He didn't get that. So we're asking the dads on the show. Willie hasn't really given his feedback yet. You guys know better than I, and you're not in the position yet of like, hey, my kids are 18 to 22 years old. They, these magic moments. How do you feel about Bronny getting a chance to play with his dad? First time in basketball history, father son.
I don't care. Like, I mean, I really feel like, he's manufactured this thing to happen, and we are all pawns in this. I'm just not going to feed into it. I'm not going to feed into it. Like, it's not real. It's not real. It is completely fabricated moments for, people, for maybe a player who doesn't deserve to be there. Maybe he does, but the way in which no, I don't think he does. No, I'm just gonna say I don't think he does.
Yeah, I love that you're pitter-pattering around.
Yeah,
most people are like, this is silly. I'm not gonna say it's silly because it is special.
It's not special.
No, it is that LeBron had a kid young enough and is a freaking conditioning monster, right? Longevity for his career that he actually his son is of age that he can actually play with him at 40 freaking years old.
But
I get your point that he probably shouldn't be on the roster or in the NBA.
Right.
Listen, what it's lacking is authenticity, like the Griffies who were in attendance. That was authentic because we saw Griffey from jump. So I get it. I get when people are saying that. The father-son point of it, where a lot of dads, the reason why people want to make it special is because LeBron got to step on the floor and see his kid live out the dream, but at the same time play on the court. For me as a dad, I mean, my proudest moment probably overall 3 times. One is when Jordan got his pro card in bodybuilding. The second, when he won the junior bodybuilding title in the world in the natural division. And then when he fulfilled the 5-year plan and got the keys to the perfect gym. The thing about that is we're just normal people. And guess what? There were proud fathers and sons every single day of kids fulfilling their dream in every aspect of life. That if you're going to go, oh, that's special for those two, then you better be ready to do it for the guy across the street and the guy down the road and your neighbor. But like Justin said, I mean, for me, the word is authenticity. It lacked authenticity because, as I just said in the last, when Caleb was on, okay, now that they've done it good, now get him back to the G League because that's where he belongs.
Maybe guys, Iron Eagle, who was very enthusiastic on the call, maybe he's the only one who feels it because his son Noah is at that level, very deserving of doing the Olympics. So maybe he has the feeling,
or maybe
the genuine feeling,
or maybe he's on the radio and that's the narrative. So you have to be positive and push what you're calling.
Yeah, I mean, and we've had this discussion before, and what's the sort of arc of the discussion goes to like nepotism and whether or not it's justified or not. I told you guys, and you guys kind of pushed back pretty hard on it. I think that nepotism is fine to certain extents because there is unique opportunities that fathers and sons or mothers and daughters or fathers and daughters can pass down knowledge of a sport or a craft or an industry or a business or what have you that they happen to be experts in that they can give to their offspring that doesn't necessarily translate to any other person in the world because you don't have that closeness. Now, once you do that, I do believe that person has to perform. I mean, let's talk about Jack Buck and Joe Buck. I think they're great. I think Joe Buck's great. And he acknowledged in his Hall of Fame speech, you know, like, hey, I acknowledge I got a leg up. Yes, you did get a leg up. You got to start further down the track, but he still ran and he still performed. Now, I just don't think at this stage that the leg up that Bronny got should have been this high up and created this opportunity for a moment for LeBron. That's all it was. It was just for him. And I don't need to be a part of that. Like, he doesn't need me to be a part of it. He's doing it for him.
Here's the best way to actually look at this. Forget about the G League. In reality, let's not forget that Bronny had cardiac arrest, came back, finally made his debut, and then declared for the draft. Realistically, should Bronny be a sophomore in college right now? Absolutely.
Yeah.
He could go back to USC and play 3 more years and get a lot better, because there were other players in college that were a lot better than him last year. So in reality, I mean, there's your answer. Doesn't take away from him being a great kid and whatever, however you want to call it. But the bottom line is, Justin's right. This was for LeBron. This has been a script that has been written. If you ever want to say the NBA is rigged, well, that little portion of the Lakers home opener in the 2024-25 season was 100% scripted.
Yeah, it's WWE.
Oh, wow.
It was entertainment.
Okay, let's build on that. Justin Watkins, Battleborn Injury Alerts. We're here in the Battleborn broadcast studio, 766-1400. Call from anywhere in the state of Nevada. Phone number, including the office in Reno. WWE. Willie's been going off on this for a couple of days. Final game of the WNBA series. What do you think about the officiating? There's some weird stuff with the commish wearing a shirt with a Statue of Liberty
New
on
York
it.
themed outfit.
No, I know. It's a joke. Like, I mean, first off, like,
Yes.
if the WNBA wants to establish credibility, they have to do something about their referees. They are terrible. And I don't mean just in that game. I mean, across the regular season, they are terrible. But the amount of reffing that took place, I mean, that game I watched, you know, it was on against baseball and it was on against football. So I wasn't watching every second of every minute of that game, but I watched the better part of the second half, and they were letting everybody play until the final stretch. And then all of a sudden, New York starts getting all these calls. And the foul on Breanna Stewart was not a foul at all under any circumstances. It was as good of a defensive play as you could make in that moment with all that on the line, as good as you can do it. And the New York Liberty lost that game on that play, and they gave it to them.
And if there was incidental, let's just say that we didn't see, well, then you missed a ton of calls earlier in the game where there were no calls, like you said. And they were pointing it out. There were analysts that were there in the arena, very well high respected WNBA reporters that were tweeting, wow, they're letting them play. They're letting them go at it. They were mentioning that and commenting, okay, the refs are letting them go. But not only that, people keep bringing up Breanna Stewart's 4.5 to 5 steps into the lane before Alana Smith fouled, quote unquote, fouled her. Jonquel Jones walked just before that. So I don't want to say the fix was in, but that's about as close as you're going to get to where, hey, the storyline's written, the commercials are ready to go. Kathy's wearing a New York themed outfit. I mean, I could go up and down the line with Breanna Stewart, Jonquel Jones being former MVPs, Courtney Vandersloot losing her mother earlier in the season. You know, the Sabrina Ionescu finally, the 2020 here in Vegas winning the Pac-12 championship, and then the world shutting down and she didn't get to finish out her deal. So now this is finally her year to win it. So many storylines. Yeah.
I mean, I think overall though, the league's officiating in the WNBA is incompetent. Like, I felt that way throughout the season. Incompetent. And if you were to just like look at some of the calls throughout the year, you can choose Caitlin Clark just because more people have watched her. So I'll just pick her because more people have watched her. And some of the hits and physicality that she took with no calls happening, but it happened to all kinds of players. So, and then that's the call that you decide to make in that moment, in that game in which you have not done any of those calls. It just felt, and to review it and be like, yeah, no. Like that's the joke of it all. Like they reviewed it. They're like, yeah, we got it right.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. I mean, talk about all ball. She had that ball palmed.
They were, I think that their claim was an arm or something, but nevertheless, it didn't impede anything.
No.
You brought up Caitlin Clark, but how many press conferences I sat in, how many audio clips did we have in audio cuts? Becky Hammond lamenting Asia Wilson getting slammed around all season.
Yep.
Anyone with the top big in this league, they were saying how the calls were horrible and they were, they weren't calling. I mean, Caitlin Clark's one thing, but Christy Sides, how many times she talked about Aaliyah Boston not getting calls.
Yep.
I mean, it's everywhere. Former coach Tanisha Wright down in Atlanta, Tina Charles not getting calls. So you're right.
So, I mean, what my point about all of it is if I was a player, before you push up the locker rooms, fix the officiating. That's what I need as a WNBA player.
Don't forget on Sundays, a great spot to watch the NFL is Football Central at Westgate. The day starts at 8 o'clock on ESPN Las Vegas with JVT Sunday football preview show. John Murray, one of the bosses of the book down there, will appear with JVT in the middle of the show. Westgate, Football Central, every Sunday. Great spot to watch the National Football League.
The Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino is the place for football. Hey, it's JVT. Start your Sunday with us at the Superbook. Watch the games on the huge 4K video wall with free admission and free parking. Plus, great prizes every week. See you Sunday at the Westgate with ESPN Las Vegas.
Capriati's has always put the extra in extraordinary. Now, taste the next extraordinary. Add bacon to any Caps fave or try the Caps BLT starting at $5.99 for a limited time. Bacon, it's happening at Capriati's Sandwich Shop. At participating stores, prices may vary.
Sign up today for a new William Hill Nevada mobile sports account, and you can earn a $50 bonus bet on top of your original $50 or more deposit and wager. The William Hill Nevada mobile sports app allows you to bet on the go from any iPhone, iPad, or Android device from anywhere in Nevada. Sign up today, and you will never miss another bet. With the largest wagering menu, the mobile sports app features live and play wagering on all major sports. For more information, official rules, and to see participating sign-up locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Porta-Subs fans, ready for a deal that's big on taste but light on your wallet? Make it a combo for just $2. Just $2 more. You can upgrade with chips and a drink. Get more meal for your money and make your lunch a combo. Head to Porta-Subs and add chips and a drink for just $2. Offer available for a limited time only. Visit portasubs.com or order on our app.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Porta-Subs.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, it's Cofield. I'm with my friend Jake from Desert Springs Pools. Desert Springs Pools has been building quality pools in Las Vegas for over 30 years. But you guys also have a landscape division.
Yes, Steve. Our landscaping division has been partnered with the pools for over 25 years. We can do everything from hardscapes, turf, barbecues, patio covers, irrigation, lighting, and whatever else you may need. We also can apply that Southern Nevada water credit to your total project cost.
Desert Springs Landscaping, just days away from your dream backyard.
Treasure Island has some of the best food and entertainment in Vegas. Enjoy Phil's Steakhouse, a classic steakhouse that features prime cuts of meat, seafood, and Italian specialties. Treasure Island is also home to Gillies, a longtime favorite of tourists and locals, a honky-tonk atmosphere with live music and dance floor for two-stepping and line dancing. Check out their toughest cowboy competition every Thursday with $200 up for grabs. Treasure Island, where parking is free. Visit Treasure Island and experience the best value on the strip. 21 years or older. Please drink responsibly. Management reserves all rights.
Get down.
Now back to Justin Watkins with Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
Battleborn Injury Lawyers here on a Wednesday. 766-1400 is the call from anywhere in the state of Nevada number. Very important in the middle of the show to get to this. I don't know why the middle of the show reference matters, but Willie, I know this is a big week for you and your initiative with mental health. So what do you got going on?
Yeah, every year we do the Baggage Project. Liberty women's basketball coach Billy Hemberger, since he's been over at Spring Valley, this is the 8th year. I had read about this project. A middle school teacher did this where he had the kids write down their baggage, what they're carrying around mentally, but don't put your names on it. They crumpled up the paper when they were done with it, threw it to the front of the room. And he said, that's what you do when you sort of push down your baggage and keep it all bottled up. So he picked it up and he picked up the crumples of paper and he threw them back to the kids, and they read their classmates' baggage aloud, and it brought the class to tears. So for 6 years, because the first 2 years we did a funner project, and then that's when I stumbled onto this. We've done this ever since. And if I tell you that every year there's been at least one kid, if not 2, 3, it usually brings somebody out to reach out to Coach H and talk to him, and then he guides them toward today. I'll go back tomorrow for the second part 2 with the other class, but today after class, 2 students stuck around, broke down in tears, expressed their feelings. Coach H is going to work with them, get to a counselor, get them some therapy. When he first announced the project, a couple of young boys, which for me is the big part, is if you can reach out to the young men, because they're raised to sort of suck it all up and be tough, and you're not supposed to do that. I can't tell you how many have reached out to me and just quietly said thanks, because they can't bring themselves to talk about it. But some of the stories you read in these essays, I get them about a week before, are heartbreaking, and the stuff that they're going through at home. A lot of it's the same: grades, eligibility, making the sport, keeping up with my homework, my social life. And that's great, but you know what? That's life, because as you progress, it'll become work and making money and paying your bills. But some of the horror stories you read that these kids are going through at 15, 16, 17 are terrible. So anyway, that being said, if I could reach out to one kid and it just gets in their head that it's okay to not be okay, then talk, I've done my job.
That's awesome. I've never heard of something like that, but next round, next time, let me know. I'd love to participate in something like that.
Awesome.
We got like 90 seconds here. I wonder in general, and I'm throwing this at you sight unseen, I wonder in general where the justice system is with mental health issues, and especially maybe not for kids, but in the workplace with adults. I mean, it's a tricky situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a shifting paradigm, and I think there's a pendulum that's swinging back and forth in that regard. I think there has been a lot of work in the area of restorative justice and mental health help for people who have done wrongs, whether that's criminally or civilly or, in the workplace. And I think that there is some people who are all in on restorative justice in that form. And I think there's some who say that's not working. And I don't know that we have the empirical data to say whether or not the right approach is or what amount of that approach works. I think just in the state, I'll just bring it to the state. We're seeing a lot of that in the education system where, a sect of the elected leaders are strongly pushing for restorative justice rather than some sort of permanent punishment that happens when kids do wrong, that can keep them in school and hopefully get them to graduate. And there's another group that's saying, hey, restorative justice has another side of the coin, and that is you're putting kids who have not yet received the mental help that they need in the same classrooms and around the same kids who now you're pulling them down. And so I think it's going to be a debate that goes on for the next 10 or 20 years because we don't have the data to say what exactly is working and to what extent.
Coming up next, our Eye on Sports Gambling, but we'll also squeeze in what was going on last week with the Stadium Authority and Steve Hill, an examination of information, and the John Fisher Finances and Stadium Plan. Where is it? Can we just go on someone's word?